He is in the University of Hartford's Hall of Fame. He's one of the best delights. He is a genuine person. I mean, honestly, if you're around this guy, there's just good vibes in the air 24/7. My former floor mate in college, fellow Uharter, and a guy I genuinely was hoping that I could somehow have him a part of this process. Always got along, and I'm really happy he's here today. But we're in for a treat. Ali Youssef is on the Productive Conversations podcast. Ali, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man? How you been?
I've been excellent, man. Really have been, just move
I'm
along with this
glad.
show, try to avoid the virus and staying healthy and happy otherwise. Then how about you?
All is well. All is well. Work is work. Life is
Mm-hmm.
life in this pandemic. You really can't. You just gotta go day by day. That's all you
Definitely.
can do.
Uh, let's get into that right away, taking it day by day. So you have had quite a few months over the past since the year started and going in hot after. To start this off, how's your 2021 started, Ali? And how have things been otherwise as a whole?
Well, 2021 started out pretty rocking. Me and my lady, we got engaged Christmas Eve 2020. So that was kind of a nice little, end the shitty year with something positive. So that was great.
Oh
Besides,
man, that's a
yeah, so
way.
that
I
was
saw that. Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. So that was truly awesome, and I love her. Her name is Laura, Laura Donna. So
Mhm.
that's my lady.
Shouts to Lord Donald. Why don't we hop into that right away? Let's start this on the monumental event, if that's okay with you, Ali.
Of course,
So, as you said, New Year's Eve 2020, you
Christmas
getting,
Eve.
excuse me, sorry, Christmas Eve 2020, still an excellent way to have. I mean, is there anything better, really,
No,
on a
definitely
holiday?
not.
But talk to me, Ali. Tell me first of all, how'd you two meet together? And what led you to the big moment when you decided I'm ready? This is the time. I'm gonna get the ring. I'm gonna ask the most important question essentially ever in my life to the woman I love. Could you talk to me first how you guys met, and then if you could explain to us and walk us through the day you asked her in your hand in marriage?
Yeah, no, definitely. So me and Laura we went to the same high school together back in the day. Shout out to Walter Panis. I was only there for a year that I transferred to the other high school in my district because we ended up moving. But after I transferred high schools, just never saw her again. That was freshman year of high school. From 2009 to 2017. Just never saw her again. Went to college, everything, and then when I got back from after graduation, I ended up working at Home Depot, which was it was humbling. Like on that grind to find an engineering job, and like 6 months into me working there, I see his cashier just like like out of nowhere, and I'm like, who's this chick? Like she looks familiar. Like I'm looking at her, and it might end up looking like at her pretty creepily, I guess. Because I'm just like looking at her, I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna go talk to
Who
her.
is this?
So so I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know this girl from like high school or something. So like kept it cool. First few days didn't do anything. Just playing that long game. And then like I think it was like December of 17. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go talk to her. Okay, it's been a few weeks now. I'm gonna go talk to her.
Hmm.
So I was in the pro desk area, the contractor sales, and which is right next to the cashiers. So I walk up to she was a head cashier, so I walk up there, and then the first things that come out of my mouth is, "Hey, I like your shoes." And then she was just like, "Thanks." And then I was like, "Yeah." And then I turned around and I'm walking away, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, "Stupid, stupid, stupid. Who says something like that? Who says something like that?" And then fast forward to like 2 months later, uh, the HR people at Home Depot, they were, had like the Valentine's Day grams and stuff, like send a
Hmm.
flower or whatever to an employee. So, well, on the other head cashier, she knew I had a crush on her, so she was like, "Oh, I already put a rose in you, for her from you." And I was like, "Oh, I was not expecting that." But truth be told, I'm watching her get this flower from like across the store, and she's like blushing and stuff, and I'm like, "Oh my god, what has she done?" Now, and then like a week later, so it's that day, it got the digits,
Mhm.
like I'm like, all right, I still got game, got the digits and everything.
Real now you're in the real world feeling good.
Yeah, no, I'm like, all right. And then a week later, our first date was watching Black Panther in theaters.
How about that
Yeah,
monumental movie right
yeah,
there?
yeah. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman.
Definitely, man. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Chadwick for sure.
R.I.P. But yeah, that was our first date, and it just became like we started hanging out every single day, and then about a month and a half after we started like seeing each other,
Hmm.
um I started at my new job in the city. I got the job and everything, and so I was thinking Home Depot. So I'm like, oh, this is a bummer. But post, like April 1st, that year, I got my job, and like I would after work, I would come back from the city, stop by Home Depot. She worked those closing shifts, so I'd stop by Home Depot
Hmm.
every single day. Say hey to her, hang out for a little bit, and that was very cool. And well, not very cool, no, she's and then and then you know, and then so fun fact, we've actually been long distance more than we've been
Hmm.
together. Like I would say, so our 3 anniversary is coming up in about less than a month. May 4th is our
Look at that.
yeah. So May 4th is our anniversary, and so 3 years, which is crazy to me, honestly.
Definitely. That's dedication. Could you
Yeah,
now talk to us, dating for years at this point? Obviously, you get that butterfly feeling. Can you talk to us and walk us through the moment you decided I'm gonna ask this girl to
yeah.
marry me?
Yeah, so flash forward 2 years. She was living here for like almost a year back in New York. She was
Hmm.
she's back, and she went back to Florida to start school and everything.
Hmm.
And like it was a tough long distance thing, and
I know
but like
exactly what you mean.
like originally though, it wasn't that bad. Like I flew down, she flew up. Like we're seeing each other at least every like month and a half. Like it
That's really good.
wasn't anything too crazy. And then March of 2020 hit, and
Hmm.
that's when long distance became all right. Well, we went from long distance to being long distance in a pandemic, which
Yeah.
was brutal. And I was supposed to see her like a week after the pandemic started too. I had
Oh
flights,
man.
yeah, with my sister to fly down to Florida for her spring break, and that ended up not happening. But that pandemic was very humbling for us. I would say, it was, there was some rough spots. There's rough spots in every relationship, but the fact that we managed to get by,
Yeah.
great. So between January of 2020, I didn't see her until June last year. So that was like 6 months was our longest time apart, and
Yeah, and also at that time, we didn't know when would you be able
yeah,
to let
when it
out
was
of the
gonna be
house
over.
on top of that.
And like I'm thankful, at some point, last June I was able to work from Florida. So I drove down. The pandemic was like
Mhm.
it was going, but I drove down there, and
Must have been some clear
I,
roads.
yeah, yeah. No, well, I will say no traffic, no no traffic in a pandemic driving to Florida on 995. Um, and I drove down. I was there for a month, and that definitely helped. And I was there for a full month, and like after that visit, it was like, okay, um, I'm like pretty positive, like 99.999% positive that this is the girl I want to marry.
Look at that.
She like every time I'm with her, it's just like, all right, she's the OG. She like I love her. She makes me
Mhm.
smile. She makes my heart fucking go out of my chest. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
you
And
know what
then
these songs are all about now. You
yeah,
see that?
man, like now I know what those Boys to Men guys were singing, back in the day, like
Amen.
like you never know, what these boy bands were singing back in the day until you find someone.
Right.
And then last summer I bought the ring, and I held that thing in my pocket for like 5 months, man. That thing was that thing was burning a hole in my underwear drawer, I will say.
Were you waiting for the right moment? Were you
Oh, I was just
that?
waiting to see her again,
Mm.
and then it worked out that she's gonna she flew up for the holidays. She was here for 2 weeks, and then Christmas Eve, big day, and a big day, and I was freaking shaking, man.
Yeah. Did you like
Like,
when you woke that day of Christmas Eve 2020, were you waking up? You're like, okay, here we go. This is it. Did you watch like tutorial YouTube videos how to get engaged or like?
no, seriously, I was like, all right, how to not be a nervous wreck before doing this, huge
Mhm.
commitment thing. And like I had all my friends there, my family. It's at my house. I had all my friends and family there, and it was great. And so like like I didn't do it right away. Like we're taking pictures first. Like keep
Mhm.
it like nonchalant. There's nothing crazy going on here. We're all just taking pictures. And then taking a picture together by the Christmas tree, and her arms around me, and she goes, whispers over to me. She goes, "Why is your heart racing so fast?" And I'm sitting there like sweating, like no
I'm
reason.
just, I'm really nervous about what we're gonna have for dinner.
Yeah, no, I'm like, mom's food smells too good right now. Like I'm getting super hungry right now.
Mhm.
And then lo and behold, like 2 minutes later, I was down on one knee, and when I got that down on one knee, I was like, oh, this is actually happening.
This is your mom.
This
This is
is
your moment, huh? And
Yeah, it's actually happening, and it was beautiful, man. And honestly, I am so I'm seeing her in less than a month. So I'm going down for her spring break now.
all right.
I'm driving down there, and I'm excited to see her. I haven't seen her since the holidays,
Hmm.
and that week is gonna be amazing. Just to see her is gonna make like with the stress at work and her stress with finishing up school. She's in clinicals in the hospitals and everything,
Yeah.
and urgent cares. She's stressed out, and like me at work, I'm nonstop, and I'm stressed out. And at this, but it always manages to unstress us out. Like the second I see her, I'm just like, all right. Like even when we're FaceTiming, I'm like, all right, I'm not stressed anymore.
Hmm.
And the
Look at
second we hang
that.
up, I'm like, all right, well, I'm stressed again.
You gotta get that warm weather too, man. But
Oh
wow,
yeah,
wow, Ali, thank you so much for sharing that for me and my audience. You're an awesome dude, man. Nothing, you really deserve this happiness. I'm really
thank you.
happy for you, and can't wait to see where this goes for you, man. This is awesome, man. You really gave me a great video highlight just now too. So
Oh, thank you, man.
really hyped it.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations again. So yeah, and also shouts to her, Lord, what she does in the health field, and always pre, post, during pandemic too. So shouts to her and what she's done, and you guys can take this world on. So
Oh
congratulations, man.
yeah,
So I'm
thank
thrilled,
you, man.
really thrilled for you.
Shout out to my honey, Laura. By the way, love you, babe.
Shouts to Laura, indeed. Thank you for tuning in, Laura, and all you do. So, man, look at that. So now you're engaged, living it up, feeling good. So basically, my other question for you is, as we are winding down in the pandemic, though not completely out, but we're looking good on, I would say, third base, and make sure we all keep getting vaccinated and stuff.
Yeah.
Next to, planning a wedding and all that jazz, what are your plans for a post-pandemic now that we can get rid of the new normal and now focus on other things in life?
Oh man, post pandemic, honestly, like I haven't really thought about a post pandemic in such a long time. It's
Mm,
been like that's the point, man, where like I'm watching these movies, right? And I see like these like old movies and like just people like not wearing masks and shit in these
mm-hmm.
movies, and I'm looking at them like yo, like why are you so close to that dude? Then I'm like, oh yeah, that's normal life, like
Yeah.
we're just in a shit show right now. But post pandemic, man, like I truly just wanna like appreciate the basic freedom that we had,
Yeah.
we didn't know we had, and then just go back to living life to the fullest. Like this pandemic, really truly, like taught us that like tomorrow is really not promised. So
For sure.
like at this point, we just gotta just live every moment, even if it's just, like something, stupid and reckless, or something, like worthwhile, just live in the moment. And, like, I really appreciate every single day. And what, first thing I'm gonna do after this pandemic, I just wanna like walk in my office, just not wearing a mask, or walk to Grand Central, maybe just sit on
Yeah.
the train, I commute down to the city every single day and just, sit on the train and just not wear a mask, just the first thing though that I want to do is go to a concert.
Yes. Tell me
Man,
about it.
oh my, like looking back these memories, and so like one of my favorite bands is A Day to Remember. And
Yeah.
so like in college, I saw them, they were in Connecticut every year I was in college. And I saw them every single year from the first time to the last time I saw them. It was great. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I love. And then, I just miss music, man. I miss, like, that's the point where like I'm watching these videos of live music videos on YouTube, of like live
Mhm.
concerts and stuff, just to have like the essence of being at a concert, because it's come to the point where like I'm getting sick and tired of the, studio recorded version of songs. I
Yeah.
want I want some live stuff, I want some grunge, I want some heart and soul to it.
I want some instrumentation. I want people to go
Exactly.
crazy at they're out. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean, man. I'm sorry, were you about to say something else?
No, no. It's just,
Oh,
yeah.
I've been thinking about concerts on the reg too, and I'm always been a big music fan, but I really didn't start going to concerts until really college. Even though I just something I didn't do like around that time of my life, and went to a bunch, back in Hartford, the what's that place
The
called?
Xfinity Center.
Xfinity Center.
Yeah.
Seen some shows there. Seen some people at the Garden. Seen the various theaters in New York and where I'm in Westchester, Fairfield County. It's crazy how that part of life really put
Just
extremely on hold.
so just vanished.
Yeah, and it's also crazy to think, wow, there were times we were really stuck on top of each other, and man,
Yeah.
that's ultimate thing I'm waiting for too. Just any live event from that and live sports too. It's
Oh,
it's
sports too.
cringing.
No.
It's you really miss it. And like the band Rage Against the Machine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting. They have this humongous reunion tour. I don't know if you heard or not, and they scheduled for 2020. Actually, got the tickets only to um
Just not go.
exactly not go. Pushed it back exactly a year. The same ticket exactly a year later, in August 2021, with Run the Jewels opening for them. And then we have the just announced today that they're going to push it back until 2022. Exact same ticket. So it will
Oof.
literally take years to get to this one show.
Oh my god. That's like
And
being stuck in traffic for 2 years, getting to this concert. That's
yeah,
exactly
and
what it is.
Rage Against the Machine is a band I only listen to live. So I mean, I like their studio stuff, but I love watching
Yeah.
their live concerts on YouTube all the time. And boy, that concert, assuming then summer 2022, we're way past that point, hopefully. And man, I gotta take that all in, and that's gonna be the big one, waiting years to
Oh yeah.
see.
Oh yeah. That concert, yeah. That's years in the making at that point.
Oh, it's gonna be epic. It's just gotta be like that's the big show I'm waiting for. I'd love to see Chili Peppers live.
Yeah, okay.
Green
So
Day.
Chili Peppers are like numero uno in my heart, man.
Numero uno for me.
Numero
A
awesome.
true live band too. I just like you said, I mostly I love watching live concerts all the time. YouTube has made it
Yeah.
so easy now. When you see the 1 hour
Yeah.
video, like yes.
So like when I mentioned before about watching concerts live on YouTube, it's literally I only watch like Chili Peppers concerts live. Like I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I have like over 1,000 views on the Slane Castle concert. That's my
Oh
favorite
yeah.
live performance. That's one of their best ones. 2 hour show. You play that at work, and then next thing you know, 2 hours pass by. I'm like, all right, well, I'll just play it again, and 2 more hours will pass by.
There's not one bad song off that live from Slade Castle. Even the cover,
No.
when they cover Ramones and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah.
The Venice Queen goes
Oh
hard.
yeah. My favorite song live off that concert was so my favorite song from them is "Throw Away Your Television."
Yeah.
And the live performance, like every concert, Flea does this like wacky, crazy bass solo, and then the song starts. The song is great, but after that song, in every single concert, they play this little like riff, and
Mhm.
sometimes Anthony sings with it, sometimes he doesn't. But when he's going like like "Don't You Ever Leave," and he repeats that over and over and over again, and then Flea and John just jam for 3 minutes, and Chad is just banging away on
Yeah.
those drums. It's like I'm pretty sure I have to replace him after that song because there's probably holes all over them. And like I could listen to that live performance of that song over and over and over and never get tired of it. Like I literally get
Never.
goosebumps every time I hear about it.
And we also have John Frusciante returning to the band too. They announced the return
Yeah,
right before the pandemic.
dude. Man, that killed me. That killed me for once. John was like, "Yo, I'm back." And then pandemic, and I'm like, "So is like no concert, no new album? We're sitting here waiting. Like I'm trying to refresh. I'm like, is there gonna be a new album soon?" Don't get me wrong. Josh Klinghoffer was a good guitarist, but personally, man, he didn't fit the vibe of the band. He didn't.
Exactly.
And he's a talented guy, and like he put out two good albums with the band. Getaway and I'm with you. They're two good albums. Getaway is it's alright.
Mhm.
But he put out two good albums, and yeah, it's kind of salty how he left. They kind of like, hey, well, John wants back, so you know, we're just gonna
Yeah.
talk to you later.
And Josh did get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as official member. He was only an official member
Mm-hmm.
for 2 years. So I mean that's somewhat
Yeah,
of a fair trade-off. And
that's an
yeah,
achievement.
it's that's the core sounds of the Prime. We know Chili Peppers have had different guitarists throughout the
Oh
whole
yeah,
bandship, but that is the ultimate one is the John Frusciante years. And I understand the tough pill to swallow, and I'd be pretty upset too, but just know you're making a lot of Chili Pepper diehards appreciate the move.
yeah, man. Like I think John's been part of what, six of their like nine or 10 albums that
Yeah.
they have out now. And he was a big part of like some of their biggest albums, like Californication, Blood Sugar Sex Magic,
And Stadium
to
Arcadium too.
Stadium Arcade, like some of their biggest albums, John was a part of. And like you can immediately differentiate John's guitar playing versus Josh's guitar playing.
Right.
John is like melodic. Like he could literally just break that guitar's neck within a second because he is playing with so much passion. And with Josh, it just kind of sounds like he just has some pedal on with distortion on it, and he's just
Yeah.
playing some cloudy notes. And it's like, all right, man, like you're a good guitarist, but you it sounds like you're in a high school metal band right now. Sorry.
Literally.
Like, I don't be wrong. What's your favorite song from the Chili Peppers?
My favorite Chili Pepper song is, what I'm gonna go with. I really love this song, "Suck My Kiss." That's the one that started
Yeah,
it all for me.
yeah,
I really
great
got
song.
into rock music because of Guitar Hero franchise, and Guitar
Oh
Hero
yeah,
franchise plus iTunes gift cards. It was heaven. And then I learned that how my library had every CD before Spotify. That's where I got my music from, and just burned the CDs off. So "Suck My Kiss" off of Guitar Hero 3. I think it was like one of the bonus tracks. And then I
mm-hmm.
just Googled, I remember I Googled it and I saw it live, and then like bam, it was their Woodstock 99 set with
Oh
Flea
yeah,
playing naked. And
yep.
honestly, that changed it all. That became my favorite band ever since. And they're a part of
Man.
this wall in the back. And I love the Chili Peppers dearly. What's your favorite Chili Pepper song?
So I mentioned before, throw away your television, and between
Yes.
that, I would say if I had to pick one more, like put a gun to my head and play that song right now. I'll have to say Other Side from the
Oh yeah.
Californication album. So I started playing bass guitar because of Flea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not great at bass, mind you. Like above mediocrely average. Like I can hold my own, for the most part.
Hey, as long as you can hold your own, that's what counts.
Exactly. And I remember in high school, battle of the bands kind of thing, talent
Mm-hmm.
show thing. Me and my friend and my other friend, we played Other Side, and that little bass solo in there, and
Oh
my
yeah.
friend's voice, he was killing it. My drummer, Our drummer was killing it. It was just a good time, and I love that song. It's very, very dark and twisted, and the music video is kind of like you're on LSD.
Yeah,
And it's just a very, very twisted
hella
song.
trippy.
But like I love that. I love that. That and also like thinking like off that album like Scar Tissue.
Oh
Like
yeah, that
with
is my favorite Chili Peppers album, the Crowd Fornication one.
yeah. Like gotta think with that one with Anthony's drug overdoses and his
Mm-hmm.
drug use, and same thing with John. That song was just like like we we can overpowered. Here we are now. We put that dark in the past. We had the scars to show for it, but we gotta push forward,
We're
and
happy
it's a
that they
beautiful
are
song.
here, and
Absolutely.
I just so appreciative that they seem to genuinely want to play again. Like that's what's cool about once we're okay for concerts and have the crowds. There's so many bands hungry to tour again. We'll probably see bands broken up reunite over this. We're
Yeah.
gonna see some. We cannot be in a better spot. I mean, once we have to get through this last hurdle of it, I think that's what it'd be cool. And it's nice, no offense. I mean, I'm sure they agree. They are in their 50s now, but they still rock as hard as they were when they're
Oh
our
yeah.
age.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's what I really, as the older I get, like, wow, these like when I watch like old The Who or
Hmm.
Stones, when they were performing recently at Bruce Springsteen, I was like, wow, we're very lucky they still want to do this. There's definitely some
Yeah.
people who don't, but
Oh
these
yeah.
guys do.
And think about it, Chili Peppers just celebrated their 40-year anniversary, or 39 year. Pretty sure it's 40. I think
Yeah, I think
1981 or
so.
82.
That's a
But
number.
they're pushing 40 years as a group, and that's just wild.
Yeah.
That the fact that, and they've only had like such small little hiatuses, but that's wild that 40 years and they're still playing.
And I
And
would say
still
as a
actually,
whole, they're pretty relevant too. Like Getaway was,
yeah,
in there that like there were people respected it. There was out there. Like
yeah.
Dark Necessities is a pretty popular song. And again, that's just where we appreciate it. Thank God they still
Like
are at it and want to do it.
when I was younger, I was like, like no one knows who the Red Hot Chili Peppers are. Then until I realized, how big
Yeah.
their fan base. Like I thought I was the only, Chili Pepper fan in the world. That is not not the case whatsoever.
Oh
No, they
man.
are they are a legendary band, and I've never seen them live before.
Me neither. Just
So
favorite. I just love checking them out. Everyone who said they've seen them live say it's one of the best concerts of their entire life.
yeah,
Because again, actual instrumentation, passion, moving around, and again, you just appreciate that they still want to
yeah, I'm
do it.
pretty sure I would cry if I saw them live. I'm
Fair
almost
enough.
positive I would cry. Absolutely.
When they have Under the Bridge right there,
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure I'll just be in tears the whole way, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess we're going to the next show because I was just crying the whole first one. So
Oh man, what if they got to play at your wedding? Like a big
oh,
surprise. Get
dude,
a viral video out there.
that would be the most legendary thing, like
Talk about greatest
ever.
day of your life.
Honestly, oh my god.
On
If I
top
mean
of
my
marrying the
honey
girl of
and
your
my favorite
dreams.
band,
Yeah.
oof, oof, I'm like, yo, could this get any better?
Hey, you never know, man. You never know. Are there any other? I have a question for you, Ali. First, we're gonna go with two. Talk to me about some bands who are no longer with us, whether they broken up or they someone sadly is no longer with them in the band, or artists in general. Who are like some bands who are no bands are artists that aren't active now, whether for the various reasons that you would still love to see live.
Oh man, that is a tough question. So, I'm gonna start off with one that's pretty recent, and it's not really a band, but it was a rapper, Juice World.
Yeah.
I was a huge Juice World fan. No one knew why I love Juice World, but like I just loved all his music,
Mhm.
like
He's on the wall
you
too.
know,
Actually, he's up there.
yeah, and like when he's like, singing about his heartbreak, I'm in the car driving, just like, and Grant, my heart's not broken, but I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, I feel you, bro, like, like I feel you, man. And oh man, so R.I.P. Juice, that when his death hit, that I was just like, wow, okay, well, depression, just instant
Yeah.
depression. You
I
know,
remember
I was
that.
very upset.
I was big into Juice World too. Like, I don't know, it just like it was a stumble upon me Spotify, and like I listened right before, and I was genuinely upset. I remember waking up and seeing that, and like I even wrote like a post like, wow, we really lost a real one.
Yeah, man. You know, he was a talented artist. He was. And he was young too. You know, like, even in one of
Yeah.
his songs, he says, you know, like I ain't making it past 21. He died a week after his 21st birthday. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty
what's up
haunting.
with that? You know, and you know, like he was saying, like, you know, like he's probably gonna be part of the 27 club. You
Mm,
know, and sadly, you know, 6 years prior to his 27th birthday, he passed
yeah.
away. But oh, it's very sad. Let's see, you know, other other groups that are no longer with us. You know, that is uh, yeah, it's crazy when you ask somebody a question and then like they forget every band they ever knew, ever in the world. You know, I'm sitting there. I'm like, do I listen to other music at all? Oh man, that's a tough. I would have to say, you know, one of them would be it's not technically still active, but I would love to see Blink-182 with Tom DeLonge. You know,
Yes,
as
that's a great one. That's a
you know, I
great
would love
pick.
to see, the OG trio. Even though Travis is not the original drummer, but they are the OG trio though. You know, Matt, Travis, and Tom.
Right.
And yeah, I would love to see them. Granted, I saw them at in Hartford like 2 years ago, back in 2019. Some of the brothers and Lil Wayne opened for them. That was weird. That was a weird show. It was
The
Lil Wayne and
Little
Blink One
Wayne
Eighty Two
opening for
opening for Blink 182. That was a weird show. Um,
Hey, still hey, that still counts.
yeah, but I will say, their current guitarist, he's good.
Yeah,
I
Matt
like
Skiba.
Matt Skiba. Yeah, no, he's good, and he also has very similar vocal ranges to Tom. So like all the old stuff they're playing, it's still, for the most part, sounds like them. Like any new fan honestly probably wouldn't even notice that
Right.
that's not the original guitarist. And
And Travis
probably
Barker dates Khloe Kardashian now.
yeah, yeah. What a guy.
Right.
What a guy. Lucky man, I'm telling you. uh, and one that I would say, probably not everyone's most common, but Queen.
Yeah.
And if I was alive in that era, or if Freddie Mercury was still alive, I would love to go see Queen, because he was a soul that was taken way too early,
Mhm. I
way too
mean,
early in life.
he probably is the very best, arguably the very best to go in front of a crowd of true crowd control.
Hmm.
Like, not it was so natural how good he was in front of an
Yeah,
audience. And it really was beautiful, admirable to watch. And did you like Bohemian Rhapsody?
I actually haven't seen it.
Really?
I don't know how. It just never. I think I've seen like 5 minutes of it. My dad was playing it on TV, and I
Mhm.
walked by, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have to watch it, and I just never have.
Yeah.
You would think, like a whole pandemic would go by, and I would
Give you the part at
that
least two
movie,
of those hours.
and just nah, just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it is good. I like it, but it is very toned down. It's a PG-13 movie about
Hmm.
Queen, and I think they did talk about inaccuracies, but the story and acting itself, that you just get the spirit, is most important.
Yeah,
But yeah, like
absolutely.
Queen live. I mean, I watch Live Aid. I watch like the Live Aid set list like once a month, and it's just like the prime example of how you work a
Oh
crowd.
yeah.
And we'll
Oh
never get
yeah.
a crowd that into it with phones nowadays, too.
Yo, that's one of my biggest pet peeves, man. Like this is other podcast I listen to, the Ross Bowen podcast. I don't know if you've heard of it, but
I'm not familiar, but that sounds that's another one I will check out. Tell me it one more time.
the Ross Bowen podcast. He
Ross
was
Bolin.
he's an ex TFM employee, and the
Oh,
book
okay, cool.
Total Frat Move. He wrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
he wrote that
great.
book. So great podcast.
Definitely
But
check it out.
he
Thank you.
yeah, no problem, man. And he always says, just once everybody knows. So by that he means, one picture, whether you're at a football game, whether you're at a concert, whether you're at some opera, whether you're like at a freaking Broadway show. Take one picture just to let everybody know, and that's it. Put your freaking phone away, man.
Yeah.
you know, like live in the moment of the concert. Whoever goes back into their camera roll to watch a crappy video that they took at a concert 3 years
Yep.
ago.
Nobody.
You
It's
are
pretty.
literally, and when I see people post their like 2 hour long Snapchat stories about their concert, I'm
Mhm.
sitting there like tapping away, and it's just still more concert. And I'm like, are you even watching the show?
Yeah, you're wasting your money. You're losing focus. You might as well watch it on
Yeah,
YouTube if you're
yeah.
gonna just shoot
Like
it.
like you're literally watching a live concert through a screen, and I'm like, all right, just take one to let them know, move on from that. Like I really don't understand why like kids nowadays think that like, oh yeah, I'm gonna post this whole concert on Instagram. I'm like, no, you take one picture. Yeah, get a few pictures here and there if you want, but like I would say limit yourself to like 2 minutes max of recorded video.
I I
No.
I totally agree, man. One of my biggest mantras is memories over money. And like it's hard to create memories again, like you said, if you're focused on getting content being created. This is your chance.
Yeah.
You usually only get one shot for years, depending on the band, how busy a band or group is. You got to take it in because it's not going to be the same once it's gone.
No, no, absolutely not. Like, like whenever I go to my first Chili Pepper show, I am watching
Taking the
that
moment
show.
in.
I'm taking one picture just so everybody knows, and then I'm moving on from there.
Definitely.
Because
I'm gonna
those
follow the same
memories,
suit.
the
Following the
memories
same
that
suit.
you're gonna lose if like, yeah, there's memory, quote unquote, on your phone. You're not gonna watch it again. It's
Exactly.
once it's saved, it's gone forever. At that point, you lost the memory. Like you aren't gonna remember 2 years from now, like when you're at that amazing concert or amazing football game or whatever. Like I can't remember that that game or that show. Well, you're on your phone the entire time. So
Whose
I
fault
wonder
is it there?
exactly.
Some of the bands I'd really like to see. Like I would have loved to see Led Zeppelin live
Ooh.
in their peak. Job
Oh
Bono,
yeah.
Led Zeppelin. I've only met one person who actually said they saw him live. She said, when I worked at Kohl's, she said, yeah, it was a profound experience. That was her literal words.
Profound experience. Okay.
Yeah, I would love to see Nirvana live. I mean, that would have been
See,
badass.
that's one that I can't forget when you ask. Every single band I've ever known just forgotten. Nirvana. Yeah, man. R.I.P. to Kurt.
R.I.P. to Kurt. Yeah, his anniversary's I think coming up.
Mhm.
Sadly, um, yeah, those big one. I mean, it would have been great to see the Who in their prime. Keith Moon, who I
Mhm.
think would have been a real joy. And yeah, those are who I'd say for who's no longer with it. But what about the artists who you're still able to get? Obviously, besides the Chili Peppers, like I would really like to see Green Day. I have to make that possible. I'd love to see Kanye West live if I could
I
make that
was I
happen.
was literally gonna say, Kanye West as well. And if I could travel back in time, to 2008 and nine,
Oh
before
yeah.
before Kanye lost his shit,
Mhm.
if I can go back to '09 and see Kanye in his prime,
Yeah, like that My
like
Dark Twisted Fantasy.
like imagine going to a concert,
Mhm.
and like My Dark Twisted Fantasy just came out, like that's just insane.
Yeah.
Like I had a friend who said, like he saw Kanye a few years ago and he went on like a 45-minute monologue, and I'm like, okay, like like Kanye's just losing his shit at this point.
Listen, I get Kanye has made questionable decisions,
And I do
but
back him up though. He's also been through some shit.
yeah,
So
definitely.
so
Absolutely. We don't know what people are going through at the end of the
exactly.
day. And but Kanye, for any true person who likes not only music but entertainment, he literally puts his heart and soul from the visuals to the lighting, obviously to all the different emotion and range songs. Kanye is somebody who's a living legend, whether we like to accept it or not. I have to see him live and put this man's craft. It's just inspiring over anything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like it's actually funny. My Dark Twisted Fancy was like my most like top five most played albums on
Mm-hmm.
Spotify. last year. Like he put his soul into his music. And like my favorite Kanye interview that I've ever seen is when Katrina happened,
Oh yeah,
and
I know where you're going with this.
and just without skipping a beat, George Bush hates black people, and I know that is not true. I
Yeah,
know for a fact that it's not true. But when he said that, granted, like I didn't watch that when I was like 9 years old when that happened or whatever. But like when I see videos of that now, I'm like, man, Kanye said that on live television. My favorite reaction was Chris Rock was in the next frame, and he's sitting there like,
yeah.
yeah.
And then you also had Mike Myers in the same thing with him, and he's like,
I
"Fuck."
bet you $100 right now, Mike Myers had no idea who the fuck Kanye West is, and also vice versa, Kanye West had no idea who the fuck Mike Myers was.
Hey, we gotta get this money for charity.
Oh, good stuff. Good
That's
stuff.
someone another person I want to see make a comeback is Mike Myers doing his
Mm-hmm.
movies. That's gonna be a great day when he comes out.
Imagine a modern day Austin Powers.
Oh, why in a world, Ali, where we have so many movie series coming back from coming to Americas, and Power Rangers came back a few years. I mean, everything getting
Mm-hmm.
rebooted. Frasier's getting rebooted. Why can't? Isn't an Austin Powers perfect?
Yeah, Austin Powers is honestly, I think, exactly what we need right now.
Yes, that
That's
is a
like
sound.
same thing with like Jim Carrey doing a new Ace Ventura. Like that
Yeah.
would just turn the game around.
How about
No,
Happy Gilmore or coming back? Is it a
ooh,
perfect movie? I
yeah,
lost my money. I need to go back and to prove I still have it. Bam, movie.
boom. And honestly, Adam Sandler has the power to make any movie he wants
Yeah,
in this world. So he very well could make a happy sequel, and then no one would complain. No
nobody.
one, even if it was the worst movie on this planet, everyone would still be lining up to watch it. All right,
Hell,
because it's
I'd be in
just
that shit.
exactly, like it's an Adam Sandler production.
Apparently, I haven't seen a picture of the girl who plays love interest. Apparently, she looks the same. I listened to this podcast called The Rewatchables, and they just go over a movie. These film fans and did Happy Gilmore, and she said, yeah, I forgot the actress's name, but she said she looks the exact same. So again, everyone's still around. A funny thing about Happy Gilmore, a fun fact. So we all know about Chubbs,
Mm-hmm.
and he wasn't the original pick, Carl Edwards. Do you know who John Amos is?
Yes.
He was the original pick for Chubbs. And
Oh, I did not know that.
then there was this rumor. They said there was this rumor going around that he was the original pick. And he passed it for whatever reason. And then one of the interviewers who was in the rewatchables, he came up to him and he said, "Hey, you know about this movie, Happy Gilmore?" Yeah, the golf movie. And he literally said to him, "Whatever happened to that movie?" This was literally like a few years ago that happened. So like 17 years later, or maybe 20 years later.
Jeez. Like
Whatever
living under
happened
a
to that
rock
movie?
much?
Maybe it's better
Seriously.
off. He wouldn't have cringed as much if he wasn't
Mhm.
known as Chubbs.
Mhm.
But
Oh, that's
man,
great.
other movies we gotta get back that. What else has to return? I mean, all that came back. I saw again. Everything's come back. The Bad Boys. You need to have like a Toy Story came back.
Yeah. Oh man, Toy Story 4, man, that ending put me
Oh,
one manly tear coming down my cheek, and I was like, hold it in, man.
one of my MB reviews, I did that, and there is, if you look in the story highlights, for anyone who wants a screenshot to use of me later in the future for a meme. I mean, Woody and Buzz say goodbye. How could that? The entire millennials. That's a monumental movement.
No. Yeah. Dude, and Woody gave it all up for a girl.
Les kids, it's okay if it's for a girl that you haven't
Like,
seen
yo,
in years.
man, like Like you just tossed your bro aside. All right, whatever, whatever. All right.
Man, I wonder if Tom Hanks just sits and reflects on his life and he's like, man, I did a lot of cool shit.
So I was watching this thing. Who's that British talk show host that's very famous and he's always
Graham King, not Graham. I know you exactly.
Graham Norton.
Yeah, Graham Norton. Graham Norton show
Graham Norton.
Irish. He's great.
He's
Great YouTube
yeah.
watch.
Oh, he is a like like I think like British talk show TVs are probably even better than American talk show TV.
Absolutely, they
By
let him
far.
drink.
By
They
far.
really let it all out.
Like there's no holding back with British talk show. And Tom Hanks was telling a story when he was on it that there's this kid in the elevator and he had like a Woody toy, and he was like he took it to the kid and he goes, like in the voice, like that's me. And the mom knew who Tom Hanks was, and the kid's like no, it's not. And the mom's like, no, honey, he's the guy who plays the voice. And it's just a whole thing. I thought that was so funny.
It must having an iconic voice like that. That is so cool, Brian. I love hearing the stories. Like Gabe Yifun, I've had on the show before. He was at a grocery store and he heard a familiar voice from his favorite video game. He's like, I've heard that voice at a CVS. He goes up and it turns out to be the voice of Trevor from GTA 5.
Oh shit! Wow.
And he got a picture with him and everything.
Wow. Like, I will say, you must have a lot of hours on GTA 5 if you're just hearing his voice just constantly playing in your head.
I finally beat GTA 5 over the pandemic in April. Finally, 8 years late, but totally worth it.
I know. I just started playing it too in the pandemic. I think I like halfway through, and I'm like, all right, that was just it's like enough murder for a little while. I'm just gonna stop running over civilians and go back to my normal life.
Talk about things that need to come back. GTA 6.
Yeah, I keep seeing these posts everywhere. Like they're slowly in development with that, and that game's gonna be like a solid 10 years in the making.
Oh, you could trust Rockstar.
And the thing is, though, they keep adding stuff to GTA 5, which makes it seem to me that GTA 6 is not going to happen for quite some time. Like the servers for GTA 5 are still constantly being worked. GTA Online is still popping.
Literally.
It's people are playing GTA 5 like it came out last week, and it came out our freshman year of college. Remember, on the guys on our floor, they would always, they were always playing GTA 5 and stuff when it first came out. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that game looks awesome. I didn't get it until 7 years later.
I remember exactly that. That was a big deal. Like our first month into school.
Yeah.
People were playing that all over whether you were, everywhere, all the complexes and hawk calls and yeah, legendary. And again, me too was 7 years late, but totally worth it. I totally think I could beat all. Well, it's a one-player game, but if we were doing some like search and destroy or some battle team deathmatch, I feel confident with my skills.
Oh yeah.
While we hit that in at Uhart Memories, Ali, we met one of the first people I met in school. We were 4th floor D complex. This is really bad. I can't remember the name of the building.
Yo, I got you, bro. 4th floor decomp. We're in Smith.
Yes. With Ryan Bagdickian. Still another person part of the show. Man.
You know what's crazy, man? Out of everybody on our floor, I'm pretty sure only like 6 of us ended up staying.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire it was me, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Steve, by the way, my homie.
Shouts to Steve. Day 1. Hope all is well.
Day 1, Ryan, one of the OGs. There's the 2 Hart School kids that were in the corner that no one talked to because they were super shy, never wanted to come out of the room because we were too loud and noisy for them. And then Jalil.
Yes, look at that. Yeah. We how about that, man?
Fun fact. Shout out to Jalil though. My voicemail is still Jalil's voice. He recorded a voicemail for me, and I kept it because it's one of the first months of school, and Jalil was like, yo, man, I do a great white voice. And I'm like, all right, well, like make my voicemail. And it's great. It's great. And like people still call me and go, is that you and your voice? And I'm like, nah, that's my homie Jalil.
That's hilarious. My youngest brother, has the joke, and the one where you call and he's like, "Hello," and then you wait 5 minutes later, "Hello," ha, just kidding. And my brother's, thank goodness, he's going to play college football at Wagner College. But I was just thinking, man, all the recruiters are trying to call you and they hear that. They're like, yeah, fuck this kid. Thank God that didn't get that
Dude,
far.
one of my managers was like, "What is up with your voicemail?" And I'm like, "Hey man, I'm never gonna change it." The voicemail is like it's like hello, you have reached Ali for office hours. Please call in. Oh man, yeah,
Yo.
freshman year, man, that was some crazy times, And I will say our glow up compared to
Mm-hmm.
freshman year, bro. Me and
My
you,
goodness,
we
man.
were me and you basically freshman year. We and so did every other freshman in school. We were basically straight out of an Aeropostale
Mm-hmm.
catalog.
Air
Like
Force Rockin' American Eagle. Few
freaking
extra
wearing those
pounds.
Aeropostale. Oh man, you get those like Aeropostale shirts and everything. That's what we looked like freshman year.
I look at, my mom on her desktop has a collage of pictures literally since I was kindergarten. There's like
Hmm
20,000 pictures, and I cringe every time looking at my drip until honestly senior year of high school, senior year of college, when I finally, oh yeah, I gotta not look like a dork. I could act like one, but not dress like one. But how about the times we would play like like floor hockey in the
Oh,
floor?
dude. Like I don't know how, and like we were like I would say the rowdiest floor, but we never got in trouble.
That
We
really
never,
is amazing.
the RAs, never bothered us, and
No,
then people remember those freaking guys over in King, 3 a.m. set the fire alarm off
all the
because they were
fucking
smoking
time.
in the bathroom, and I'm like, and I will say, when you hear a super loud fire alarm at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you wake up to that sound, it's like, oh my god, the aliens
Pain.
finally are coming. Like like we're
Somebody's
being
getting fucked
invaded,
up.
and it's like nah, some stoner 2 buildings over couldn't freaking keep his joint out of the smoke detector.
Oh my god, they could have do whatever that trick people would do with the paper towels. I'd see people try
Yeah,
that paper towel trick, or could have just go outside.
just go outside, man. Like, do you know how many spots there are on campus? Uhart, there are no spots to smoke weed on campus. But do you know how many spots there are on campus?
Exactly. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
like you have unlimited spots and you do it on the floor where there is just constant smoke detectors and it's being monitored and everything. Like, come
And
on, man.
you can't really be comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Those bathrooms
And
too.
honestly, we were freshmen too. We didn't know better. We had 8 a.m. the next morning.
Yep.
We
Friday
didn't know
classes
better.
too. Ugh.
Oh, dude, that was rough. So get up and wait outside for like an hour, like in pajamas, just because some guy wanted to get high. All right, man. One of my favorite memories from freshman year, on the dorm, was there was one night that may or may not have happened. People are still listening, but like it was like one of like my first times like actually partying,
Yeah.
and it was like a month in, and we just partied so hard,
Mm-hmm.
and freaking Ryan actually gave me my first fireball shot ever, and I never knew what fireball was if it wasn't for Ryan, and that night
It
was
wasn't for Ryan.
was a legendary night, man.
The fireball
And
shot.
man, if I had a fireball shot right now, I'd probably just no, just
Oh, Ali,
hack that right up.
how did we drink Keystone back then? Uhart was a Keystone school.
Dude, we were such a Keystone school, man, and like I had a Keystone like a year out of college, right? And
Oh my goodness.
like I was visiting the school. I was for spring fling the year after we graduated. And I'm like, all right, like I'm relatively young, so I can go to spring fling.
Yeah, this
Well,
is the last cap until they're like, what are you
yeah,
doing here?
exactly. Like anything past the year is like, all right, that's a little too much now.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know what? I'm here a year. All the guys that were fraternity with me are still here.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's rage. So I made the trek to Hartford, and like I wasn't thinking that I'm gonna be drinking Keystone for the next 2 days. I just wasn't even thinking about it.
Keystone.
And I crack, and then one of the guys throws me a Keystone. I crack. I take the first sip, and I'm like, wow, this doesn't taste as good as I remember.
Right?
Like like when you think that like oh yeah, Keystone wasn't that bad. Like it was pretty good. Like after drinking hundreds of them over a couple of years, I'll probably like thousands of them over a couple of years. When you have that first sip, and it's like this is not that good. I used to drink this like every day.
Yeah, that was
Like what was
your
wrong with
when
me?
you had your dinners, your commons dinners, or you take the Hawks Nest food back home and have a
Yep,
Keystone with that.
yep. And we thought we were classy doing it. Like you bring like a girl back to your dorm, right? And you're like, hey girl, you want a drink? And you don't give her like a mixed drink or whatever. It's like, yo, here's a Keystone.
A
People
Keystone.
actually did that stuff, man. Like like imagine, like you partied hard, you found the girl you want to bring back to your dorm, and then you get there and you give her a Keystone. Like what was what was your mind process in all of that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was a different time, but like still, it's a Keystone. What's a Keystone? It's not even a cool sounding name for a beer.
Yeah, exactly. Like you should always have some Bud Light in the fridge for the ladies.
Exactly. Yeah, at least that's relatively passable. But when you drink like compare like a Shock Top or a Blue Moon or any
Yeah,
IPA,
something that's not crap. you know.
it really does put everything in perspective. And like, how about the kids who would drink like Dubra vodka?
Oh, dude,
The
dude.
difference when you drink vodka out of a plastic container, any
It's not the
alcohol.
plastic container, man. The fact that it was less than $10. Like,
Yeah,
like
get that
you
at
have
Jay's.
like yeah. Oh, Jay, man. Oh, he he never ID'd. He was great.
Yeah.
Never ID'd. Yo, there's this Instagram page called Clout Russian of some guy who goes to Uhart. All right, because I saw him post some videos and stuff in
I'm gonna
front of the
follow that right now.
library. He did a video at Jay's, and the first video he was at Jay's. I'm looking at that guy, and I'm like in my head, I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, I don't want to sound like ignorant or something. That's definitely Jay from the liquor store. Like I don't want to sound ignorant to this guy. It's just some
Yeah.
like an Indian guy at the liquor store. But I was like, that is definitely Jay
Wow,
from
this
the
guy has
liquor
a lot of
store.
followers. I just pulled him up
Yeah,
254,000 followers. Whoa.
yeah. And then he like shotgunned the beer from the library, and I'm like, who? You go to Uhart? Like I have no, like no idea. Like I'm just scrolling by. Honestly, I don't even know how I started following him. No idea how I started
I
following him.
have like a solid number of people from school following him. He must be legit.
Yeah, yeah,
The next
no.
Logan Paul or something.
Oh my god. Yeah,
It's
I
also
hope not.
crazy, right? It's also crazy how much our school evolved from where we started. They pretty much renovated every building except the complexes.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. They're constantly changing everything. What's the business building? Auerbach, they're
Hour
renovated.
back, yep.
GSU looks really good. When I was there, like for the pandemic, when I was there, like GSU looks amazing.
Hmm.
And I'm like, man, y'all did all these changes like after the fact
Yeah,
that we
what's up
left,
with that? And
you
then the
know, and
library is
yeah,
stunning.
yeah. The only change that we got was commons, and preferably I prefer freshman year commons over anything else. Freshman year commons was the best commons. The food was better. The
Really
workers were
was.
somehow nicer. It was a food area, and then a seating area. And the
That's
new
all you need.
commons was everything is freaking mixed around. You have no idea where you're going. The food tasted worse somehow. Granted, it's our mark, like food's gonna taste worse.
Yeah, dude. How about what was disgusting at Com is the ice cream. I'm like,
Yeah.
this doesn't make any sense. You
Yeah, the
know,
ice cream was shady.
how did you feel about Hawks Nest? I'll say I high key liked Hawks Nest. Like I said, if Hawks Nest was a chain, I would go here,
Well, I
once
don't
in
know
a
if you
while.
recall, man. I don't know if you
You worked
recall,
there.
but I worked at Hawks Nest for from freshman to junior year. I worked at Hawks Nest,
Yeah, that's right.
and
You must have had some
and
fun there.
it was so I met some great people. One of the managers and one of my old friends. I met at Hawks. I still talk to today.
Yeah, and
Great
Ryan
people.
worked there too.
Yeah, yeah. That's actually I'm pretty sure Ryan got me the job at Hawks Nest. I am
Sounds about right.
I'm almost positive that Ryan got me the job at Hawks Nest, and yeah, I worked there freshman year, sophomore year. I was pledging and working there, and that was just rough.
Mm.
And sophomore years when my weight gain just skyrocketed because I was at that point you're eating greasy Hawks Nest food 4 times a week, and I will say I think out of my entire time working at Hawks Nest, I think I actually went to go eat at Hawks Nest like twice ever.
Fair enough.
Because
I'd
I
understand.
never wanted to step foot there, man. I did not want to step foot in Hawks Nest. It was disgusting.
Fair.
But
I definitely see where you come from.
we ate it,
I
and
haven't been
luckily,
to a Subway since school. I reckon I didn't work there, but I would have it on the
ah,
reg every
dude,
year, every day, pretty much. In
dude, don't get me started at Subway. I was telling my parents the other day, because so between junior and senior year, I lived on campus for free. I was working for Aramark on campus, so they gave me free housing, and I would pick up some shifts at Subway, during the summer, and then between a mixture of working there and then senior year, 2 o'clock in the morning, what are you gonna go to eat? Come back from the
yeah,
bars, come back from a party. What do you like? What are you gonna eat? You're gonna eat Subway. There's
eat
a
fresh.
Subway next to Home Depot when I was working there, and I
Uh
went there. I went there once. I took the first bite and threw out the sandwich. I couldn't
oh,
do it. I literally almost just gagged. Just the taste. I'm like, this is disgusting.
yeah.
And I ate that every day for like a year and a half straight, and
Mm-hmm.
I regret it. I regret it.
I can only imagine how my stomach will be if I had that. I loved the turkeys and the meatball subs and all that, but oh man. One thing I would die for again that I genuinely liked. I love the chicken parm sandwiches from Hawks Nest. I
Mm,
like the little
those were good.
paninis they made out of it. And
Those were
then
good.
I did go to. It's funny. I did go to Moe's on the reg on
I
at school
forgot they had
too.
a Moe's. I
But
completely forgot about that.
there's a Moe's in Midtown on I believe I think it's 40th. I think it's 30th at Park Ave. And I would still go there too, and it's still like the same. But I had to say the Uhart one was better than this
Oh yeah.
Midtown one.
Yeah, 30th and Park Ave. That's not too far from my office. I'm on 5th and 36th.
Oh, perfect. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you need
yeah.
some nostalgia, right by Bryant
Oh,
Park. So
oh yeah. No, that's literally like a few blocks from me. Yeah. No, I'll if I ever want Moe's on my lunch break, I'll definitely know where to go. But I'm pretty sure if I have Moe's on my lunch break, I'm not gonna get home safe that night.
all about those. I don't know exactly from those Grand Central commutes. Though I didn't, I lost my job at Bucks Pandemic, but I got this out of it, so it's really not that bad at all. But can't wait to commute again and rolling there.
Yeah. So where were you working before the pandemic?
So right before the pandemic, I was working at a casting company called the Casting Depot. So reality TV show casting, pretty much.
Okay.
So that was a lot of developing shows for reality shows, selling them to various networks like an HGTV or MTV, Quibi, RIP. Obviously
Hmm.
those didn't last. Netflix, all those. So a lot of it reality TV show based. And we also did some game shows as well. We did some
Yep.
game
Here's the cat.
shows. Oh, no worries, man. No worries. We did. What's your cat's name, by the way?
So this is Willow. I actually have 3 cats.
Willow.
Yeah, yeah. This is Willow. So that's my little baby. She's the youngest one out of
Oh,
everybody. So,
beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I have a cat named Larry.
oh,
He does his thing.
exactly.
So anyways, yeah, so Casting Depot. We also did some YouTube shows and reality game shows. Like probably the most popular one was a show called Bestie Pigs Bay. And it is the it's the love game. Yeah, it's the love game where pretty much you have a panel of people from all over, depending on the orientation, whether it's someone who's bi episode or straight or LGBTQ and stuff. And then the best friend would pick the person to go on the date for them. And
Interesting.
my favorite, well, I miss it now. At the time, it was challenging, but it was rewarding. I would go recruit people throughout the city, especially when I had to do high school episodes. Like there would be ones with high school dates. I've always wondered why we doing high school kids, but hey, everyone needs love. Um, and I would go to the big high schools in New York City, and specifically the talent ones, whether it was Talent Unlimited High on the Upper East Side or LaGuardia High School in in Lincoln Square. And I would just go around after school. Hey, wanted to do this, and more most of the time it would work, but I would have to I'd have to put a little emphasis on it. Like for instance, we would have legit YouTube stars. Well, I never heard of them, but they had a nice following. But I would say possibly Logan Paul's gonna be on, or possibly Josh Richardson. And I was like, oh my god, they're gonna come on. I said possibly, and that's honestly how you would learn. And
It's little white lies.
exactly. So uh that was a lot of recruiting that and just trying to get people to join the show. So that was the latest gig, and yeah, awkward timing when that happened. But uh yeah, I was pretty down after losing that, and then not commuting anymore. Took about a good through the summer until the September when I said like I need to figure out something because I know I'll be able to get work again. I have the qualified resume, but I don't want this gap to look bad. And
Hmm.
I need to come up with something that I can use all these skills at once. Reckon I'm not getting paid for it, but it'll come together. That's where the podcast came from. Whether using my recruiting skills, uh, audio and visual, and social media promotion and distribution. And it's really turned into both a way to keep my career back on track, but it's been fulfilling because I get to talk with so many people, catch up with great people like here and you. It's been really great, and I'm just excited to keep working on it. And I have a plan scheduled for when I do work again, and the show's not going anywhere. So
No, I'm glad, man.
excited.
I'm glad you found yourself in the content game because the content game is never gonna go away. Never gonna
Tell
go
me
away.
about it.
And I really like the aspect of your show. Just productive conversations. It's not truly about one thing. It's technically about a million things. You could talk
Exactly.
about anything and anything under the sun. And I'm very happy for you, man, that you found this, and like you're filling the gap between resumes, and you're doing something that you enjoy in the end,
That
which
means
which
a
is
lot
great.
to me, Ali. Thank
Yeah,
you
I'm glad.
very much. And I guess shout out to my dad because while I was still here, still applying and still what I would call cold calling, soliciting the resume and stuff. And he would just pout and nag me about like, what are you doing? What's this? Blah blah blah. And I'm collecting unemployment, and that's getting me by, but I still need something, to earn it again and to have my craft. And well, I came up with the constant productive conversations because it's just one, it's genuine. Just talking about, and you could talk about anything, it's productive because you can always learn from each other. But I can productively show off how cool my guest is, and then the audience gets to enjoy a convo between the both of us, and they get something, and we're staying productive that way. So while coming up with the name of the show, that's all it was, and podcasts were the main thing, really. Podcasts and movies were what got me through the pandemic in any um, time of adversity. And well, I just came up. Well, Dad, I'm having productive conversations. We're being productive making this show, and here we are.
Very nice, man. No,
Yeah,
I'm very
man.
happy for you, and shout out to Dad.
Shout outs to Dad for sure. And how's things with you in the engineering field? I know you're back commuting, correct?
Yeah,
How do you
yes,
like
sir.
commuting again? And how do you feel about the different Manhattan right now that we're living in?
So I will say, Manhattan right now is different than what Manhattan was when I first started coming back. So I started back coming back in the city the weekend of the Tuesday after Labor Day is the
Mhm.
one September, I think. So we came back that Tuesday, and first thing I noticed, my train is dead. My train station, I parked right in the front, and I'm like, okay, that never happens.
I know what you
I
mean.
had a whole train car to myself, essentially, just all to myself, and it got to Grand Central. Now, last time I was in Grand Central, which was 7 months ago, back in March, is you can walk more than a foot without hitting someone at Grand Central.
Yep.
I walked off the train, walked on into the main Grand Central lobby, and it is empty. The only thing you see is the cops, the National Guard, and like the occasional commuter.
Yeah.
And it was wild. And then walking outside, quiet, dead quiet. You can like hear the mice basically. At this point, and like my block, there's two. So I'm on West 36, and there's two blocks, two hotels in my block. And with Cuomo, he made most of the hotels homeless shelters during the pandemic,
Hmm.
which is good. You're helping those in need. The bad part about it is that West 35th and West 36th, granted, we are literally right in front of the Empire State Building, huge tourist area or ex tourist area,
Yeah. Right.
you know,
Hmm.
so huge, huge tourist populous area, and dude, my blocks were just run with homeless people.
Hmm.
And it's upsetting. They don't have anywhere else to go. I understand it. I am sympathetic, but they've gotten more aggressive since
Yeah.
they're not making their income anymore. There's not 1,000 people walking on the same street every 5 minutes. To give them some change, for example. And I've had instances, like where I see a homeless person like start following people, getting aggressive with people, and the block behind me, even worse. So most of these hotels on my street, there's two entrances, one on West 35th and one on West 36th, which is my street. And like the West 35th side, needles everywhere.
Oh.
Dude, it was terrible. Needles, pipes, freaking, like half used joints and cigarettes just on the floor. And it was a mess, man. And I will say now it's getting better. At least it's nice seeing more people on the streets. It's nice seeing, like, I saw a double decker bus the other day, and I was like, wow,
Wow.
people are touring New York again. That's kind of cool. Like I saw a double decker bus.
Never been
But
happy to see tourists in general.
yeah, man, like if you asked me a year and a half ago, what would I do when I see a double decker bus? Usually, like flip them off, or say, like we don't want you back in New York, get out of our city,
Just
something stupid like that. But now when I see double decker bus, I'm like, oh my god, it's a tourist. Even if the empty bus, I saw it. I'm like, there we go. We're
yeah,
slowly getting back into the swing of things.
for sure. You get the street performers back as long as they don't bother you. But yeah, that's at least
Exactly.
something to take into strides. I mean, you know, you can't complain with the empty train cars.
No,
Fighting for trades, trying to get a 3-seater, not trying to sit in the middle.
I've had a three-seater to myself since September.
Oh my
And
goodness!
it
You put
is
your
it
stuff
is
there.
the
Like, yeah.
I put my stuff down. No one even dares to sit next to me. I'm like, all right, this is
I hate
great.
the days when you go, especially in the morning. It's the worst in the morning when you have to put there. It's like, hey, can I sit there? I mean, you can't say no. Even though 9 out of 10 times you wish you could say no, or like getting
Oh
to the
my
train
god.
earlier because if you hit the train on time, you're not sitting. Just
Nope.
accept that.
Yep.
You're standing in the middle.
You,
You don't have to
dude.
make that rush anymore. for now.
Pre-pandemic, the amount of train trips I did standing for the whole hour
Yep.
and 15 minutes on that train
Oh,
back up to Westchester. It was rough, man. Those are freaking long train rides.
never. It is never fun. You know the word like. It's hard to criticize this because I know I've definitely done this at some point in my life. Is when I have to work late and I go. We always know the last three. The one it goes 12:37, 12:47, 107, 147. And if you hit one of those three chains, you're probably going with people hungover, fucked up, still drunk. And
Hmm.
I can't say like I can't criticize it because I've definitely been had a few too many. And I won't say I've been disruptive, but I know, people are young. And then you
Hmm.
have that is like people screaming, and I was like, I just finished just overdoing OT, and oh man, I definitely don't miss that. I'm sure either.
It's been nice having a quiet train ride because you just pop in your headphones and you're good to go. The loudest thing you'll ever hear on the train nowadays is a crying baby. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. That's it. Besides that, it's like scary quiet. Like no one's talking to each other. Like I have a friend who gets on the train with me every once in a while, and like I try talking to him, but like I always find myself now whispering. Not even the quiet car, mind you. I'm literally in the first car, but like I'm whispering to him, and I'm like, this is weird. Like usually it's very loud in here. Everyone's talking. Everyone's just to themselves.
Yeah, and
And like I feel like if I'm talking, I'm just disturbing everybody else right now. And I'm like, I'm just trying to have a conversation. I'm sorry.
I don't want to hear about what you did last weekend.
Yeah, exactly. I guess not.
And also just a strategy of having the alarm set when you get in the train, you have to first have your ticket checked and then you could take a nap. Because the worst is when you
Hmm.
take a nap and the conductor has to awkwardly wake you up. Oh, sorry.
So right now, so I'm on the Hudson line, and so
Oh,
they
Team
added.
Harlem line,
Oh, there you go, Harlem
Harlem, New
line. I see
Haven.
you. I see you. And so I get on at the one before Crow and Harmon, and they added Ossining and Tarrytown, and sometimes Yonkers to our line now. Usually before it was Crow and Harmon, you go to the city. After that,
Yeah.
send out to Harlem. But now they added a few more stops, so they stopped checking the tickets at Crow and Harmon.
Oh,
So now at that point, like we get to Tarrytown, and I'm there. I'm usually like already knocked out, and they wake me up, and I just look at this conductor, and I'm like, I see you every day. You should know who I am by now,
yeah,
all right?
right.
Like I have a monthly ticket. There's something to scan, something to check. You should know.
Exactly.
Why are you waking me up? All right, like they just wake me up, and I'm like, see, but and like my thought process is, there's no one on the train. Why can't you just check the tickets from Corona Harbor so I can just go to fuck sleep?
Yeah, right. I I hate when you buy your monthly ticket, that damn $300 plus monthly ticket.
Mm-hmm.
I get mad when they don't check.
Yo,
When I would do
facts.
like I used to when I would before I went full time and do part time and do the 10 trip pass. I mean, it's awesome when you get a free ride. They straight forget. That's the
Oh,
one thing you could get away with, kinda in a crowded train. But then when you have the monthly tickets, like check this, make sure I got it.
yeah. There is so like I didn't start doing the monthly until like February, but this conductor, he transferred lines, sadly, but he would never check my ticket. Never. And from September to February, you know, I had 10 trips. I was just using 10
Yeah.
trips. And, the first month back, I saw this guy. His name is Kevin, you know, awesome dude. He's like this 6'3" guy, tattoos all over,
Mhm.
like just like looking,
Badass motherfucker.
badass motherfucker. And every day I see him, he's in the front, gives me a fist bump. Yo, what's up, Kevin? What's up, Ali?
Mhm.
Word. All right, I feel, hell
A
yeah,
day you said.
hell yeah. And then I sit down, he comes to my seat, fist bumps me. I'm like, doesn't check my ticket. So there was a point now for those 4 months or 4 to 5 months that 2 10 trips lasted me the whole month.
Oh,
And right
that's lucky.
now, all trains are off peak. So I'm buying an off peak train ticket
Yeah,
for
that's important.
112 bucks. And I am only using 5 of them a week because my homeboy Kevin over here doesn't check my ticket.
Yeah.
Now, my morning conductor, we'll call her Karen. She's kind of
I've had way more Karens than Kevin conductors. I'll tell you that.
Karen. Honestly, it could be her real name too. For all I know. But she just, bro, she even scans the monthly ticket when I'm like,
Oh,
girl, it
that's
says it's
wag. Pull
at
it
that
down.
point. At that point, you're just being obnoxious.
Yeah.
Like you're just being obnoxious. Like it says the word monthly. All right, I'm not that skilled to think
Yeah.
this.
For how
You
much you all
know,
charge us for that ticket, like
yeah,
damn.
yeah. Like bitch, you're charging me $400 a month to get on this train. All right,
Hmm.
so don't scam my ticket. Don't make me reach. Sorry for my rant here, but like
Oh,
you
I
a
hear
fellow,
you, man.
you a fellow commuter, you understand the struggle of commuting to
Yes.
the city on the Metro North. You are paying an overpriced ticket for absolutely no reason except to sit on a train, and then they have the audacity to raise the ticket price for no reason.
Literally.
When when I first started commuting to the city, the ticket cost from Peekskill, it was like 350 roughly.
Yeah, and that's still
Now,
stupid.
but now it's 390, bro.
Yeah.
Like, how do you increase like 12%?
Yeah, mine
Like,
was first starting and when I was first interning, it was about from Norwalk, south or east, it was 312, and now it's about 375. It's gross.
and you know what I learned, man? These people who commute from like Poughkeepsie and like
Yeah.
Southwest, like they're paying like 550 a month,
You could get a
and I'm
solid
like, I'm
shitty
like,
apartment for
yo,
that.
not even that. That's like you can get like 2 car payments right there every
Yeah,
month.
exactly.
Like you could lease 2 cars a month for the money that you're paying to get on this freaking train.
And all the park,
So
I don't know how it works in peak scale, but the parking,
yeah,
this at least Norwalk's
no,
on top of your trade fee, then your parking fee.
no.
I mean, the South Norwalk has a parking garage, and then they have the parking mobile app, $12 a day, 5 days a week. That's
That's
$60 a
wild.
week on your
Yo,
parking.
bro. So so I so my station is the Cortland station. It's between Peekskill and Crown Harmon.
Mhm.
It's all like that distance is like a 10-mile distance. Like overall from those two stations, even less than that probably. And Peekskill charges $8 a day. Crown Harmon charges like $15 a day. Now, me, I've been going to the Peekskill train station my entire life.
Yep.
Like I live like 5 minutes from it. I live 5 minutes from my entire life. And so I never heard of the Cortland train station, which is literally like 2 miles away from Peekskill. So parking there is $4 a day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, bruh, the parking permits, I got a 6-month permit for $300 at this
Jeez.
train
A whole
station,
half
which is
year, just like that.
whole half year for $300. If I was at Corona
And you could do
Harmon,
the weekends too
they
with
were
it too.
yeah, yeah, at Corona Harmon they charge $200 a month for a parking permit. Like it's ridiculous.
Funny
And
you
I'm
say
like,
that
Cortland and Corona Harmon are literally 5 minutes apart. Why is it so much more expensive?
because they don't want us to succeed. I mean, I know
Mm-hmm.
at Darien, again, $12 a day South Norwalk. Then we have another train station, East Norwalk. But hear this. You were at, I don't know. And I literally reached out to my state senator about this. In the East Norwalk station, you couldn't park on the weekdays. You could park on the weekends, but you can't park on the weekdays. It's almost it's funny. Like it's literally funny. Like,
That's so weird too
and it was
because
$8 for that.
it's weird because most train stations they offer free parking on the weekends.
Yeah.
Like weekends and holidays, there's usually free parking. They don't ticket you or anything. And but the fact that they just charge a ridiculous amount, so it's like now, like you're paying a car payment to own the car, then
Yeah.
you're paying to put the car somewhere for 10 hours a day, and then you're paying to
Unbelievable.
sit down for 4 hours a day. Like it's just at this point, it's like I'm pretty sure it's costing me more to go to the city than I'm making.
Yeah, that's always been such a debate. Like, what, where am I being less fucked in
Yeah.
this?
And like in my company, like I'm one of the farthest living people. Like
Mhm.
when someone, like when I first started, like now everyone knows where I live. Everyone knows how far I live from the city. But when I first started, they were like, "You fucking commute like 2 hours a day," and I'm like, each way, and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah. I commute 4 hours a day, basically. That's just my life
Yeah,
right
that
now.
is that is
I just,
crazy. Would you
you know,
consider moving either closer or moving to the city?
Closer, definitely. Once the missus gets back up to New York
Yep.
in August, then at that point it's gonna be the plan to move closer. And bless her soul, she even brought up that she wants to make sure we live somewhere where my commute is lessened.
That's
And I'm
very
like,
sweet.
yo, if we lessen my commute, I would love you forever. Just give you a heads up. Because, I'm pretty sure I can't keep doing this 4 hour a day thing. Look, like my commute's basically a part-time job.
It does drain you, and it's amazing the people who've done it for like 20, 30
For
years in the
20
same
years. And
spot.
I'm like, how do you do it? I've been at the company for 3 years and 7 days officially. I
Yeah,
had
look
my
at
had my
that.
anniversary at the company, and
Congratulations there.
thank you. And if it wasn't for that break with the pandemic from working from home for those 6 months, like I would have been commuting for, these 3 years. And I'm like, I'm sick of it. How are people, who've been living in Poughkeepsie their entire lives,
Yeah.
they have a 6 hour commute a day each day, and
That
I'm like, how are you doing? Is it worthwhile? Like,
that's like me in New Haven, like where I do in the new, it's both the New Haven Harlem line, and people who do commute from New Haven, like, Emily Kersey.
yeah,
She did
yeah,
commute from New Haven, like, girl, like, you are dedicated. I give you a lot of credit. Um, and yeah, mine was an hour back. Sometimes I didn't mind. Sometimes I'll tell you what, I definitely mind when I'm cramped in the train, but
hmm
sometimes not. It just depends, and it's just, but it does drain you. It really does, no matter how you are, and whether it's getting the extra sleep on the train or getting that extra work in, it's crazy how the times are. And before then,
yeah,
obviously it stopped in March, but before then I was 5 years straight from interning, and now I just come back for interviews and opportunities there, so getting ready for that again. And what was cool, I've been getting some noise with this podcast, and especially since I developed the website. So there's been digital marketing opportunities talked about, and seeing where that goes. And
hmm
it's crazy though, and I low key miss it. I'll be into the monthly commuting again for maybe 3 weeks, and then like, okay, let's figure
yeah.
out what else we could do. And
And like I will say, like some days the commute feels like it's 5 minutes.
it really
Like
does. Yeah.
I get on the train, next thing I know I'm in Terrytown. I'm like, oh, I only got like two stops left. And then some days, like an hour and a half goes by, and then it's like, okay, we're at Harlem, and I'm like, how are we only in Harlem? Been here for like an hour.
That 125th station, man.
you know.
Especially it's better in the summer. I will say that. When you do
hmm
commute back, it is dark. It's like,
Yeah. Yep.
but
And that's the big thing. Like today, I'm on the train going home, and the sun is just hitting my face. And at that moment, I was like, not gonna lie, it was kind of nicer when it was dark out. But at the same time, though, like I'm on the train at the perfect time. I get to see a sunset over the mountains, basically over
Yeah,
like
that is
Rockland
so.
County.
Mhm.
I get like I see like a sunset every single day, basically, and it's nice.
That just two things. One, yeah, you're mostly on the. It's pretty rigid. I just could separate from the red trains and the blue trains,
Yeah, I'm on the
and you
green trains.
or green trains. Yeah, green train. I mean, um, what stinks? I don't know if it changed now, but do you have power outlets in the train still? I know at one point you didn't.
Yes, we do, but we only have them at the four seaters and by the door of each
Mm-hmm.
car. So, but only one of the four. So usually, when you walk into a car, the four seater that's on the left side of you has the outlet.
Oh,
And then
okay.
also, what I found out, because I saw some guy, like we're like the middle of the car, man. Like, seats all around, like we're in the middle. And I see him bend down and plug his phone in. And I'm looking down at my seat and I'm like, I don't have an outlet. I look down at him and he has an outlet at his seat. And I'm like, what the fuck? So every day I'm on the train and I look down, it's the 16th seat in the train that has
Mm,
an outlet into it. And I'm like, I would have never. So now, like when I get onto the train, I try to aim for that 16th seat.
get that
It's
16.
it's weird. It's
I will say the one thing about the red trains that are cool is every single seat does have an outlet. And
hmm
how about also, Ali, when they do the really old trains, like the
So
the shitty trains when
so
they put
my
out?
trains are the old shitty trains.
Oh,
So the
okay.
so on my line, the express trains are the old shitty ones,
Hmm.
and the local trains are the new ones. But what I learned was the old shitty trains used to be the New Haven lines trains, and
Yeah,
Connecticut
exactly. I
funded
know
those.
all about those.
And then when Connecticut refunded the new red trains, you get out to like the nice seats and the nice
Hmm.
bathrooms and everything. Connecticut gave all of those trains to the Harlem and Hudson line, all the old ones.
You're welcome, Ali.
Like we're still rocking on these old shitty trains, and it's
With the really fat, like that open, it's almost like a warehouse with you enter the train, those doors.
yep, yep,
Oh
yep,
man.
and it's oh gosh, yeah, no, it's some shitty trains, man, shitty trains.
You know what we missed, Ali? And it really makes me jealous when they talk about the drink carts where they used to be able back in the day you could go and get a drink like happy hour after work. Man, we really missed that. You always hear rumors that they're gonna bring them back, but I doubt it.
Like the Metro North would be significantly better with a beer on my hand. But granted, though, now, like on Metro North, like they don't give a shit if you bring beer onto the train.
They really don't. Like,
Like
especially when you commute home.
yeah, yeah, because you have the Rite Aid right there, and then you have a few
Mhm.
other beer spots on the other side of the station,
And
and they
sometimes even
also
the carts
booze.
too.
Yeah, and they also booze. So like when I go to the Rite Aid, I see people, it's like five, six beers just in their hand because it's owned by the singles, and they just bring onto the train. They're just boozing away, and I'm like, how do you
Long ass
drink
day.
six? Like how bad was your day that you're drinking six Coors Lights on this train every single day? All right, like how bad is your job that this is what you do every day?
Dude, I can't imagine how people really drank and work
Mm-hmm.
back, whether back then or even people in startups now who do it. I used to work in a
Yeah.
WeWork space, so you could get free beer, and I did
Okay.
go one time. I did get it, and I was like, man, I can't. This is great, but like I can't focus.
No, no, it's rough.
But
It's
hopefully
rough.
someday we get those, at least get those trade cards back.
Yeah, man, something to make the Metro North a little bit more tolerable in the
Nothing
end.
but, man, Ali, we've been killing it for an hour and a half. I've had a really great blast catching up with you, man. I really hope you'd want to do this again because you're a really great guest.
Absolutely.
Oh
Absolutely.
man, this is sweet.
This was like I was a little bit nervous at first, but this was actually a lot of fun. Not gonna lie, I definitely hardcore enjoyed this, and I'd love to do it again one day.
Oh man, I will hold you to it, man. And once I commute back, man, we definitely catch up in person too.
Yeah, man. If you're ever in the city, hit me up. I'm there every day, 40 hours a week. So I
Definitely,
think
my
we'll get
man.
yeah.
Definitely.
You're there post 5 o'clock. I know a good few bars in my area. Shout out to the Playwright Pub. That's my
Yeah,
home.
I know what that is. I've seen that. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
definitely
man.
do that, man. We'll definitely do that. On top of you coming back on the show to be one of my recruiting guests. That's really cool. Like you're just great stories, great energy, and I really appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun, man.
Absolutely, man. You're welcome. There's just one last thing we have to do. It's called the Proust questionnaire. It's 10 short and deep questions. And yeah, Ali, I'm gonna love your answer to this. I just know it. So you ready to do your Proust questionnaire?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. My first question for you is on the Proust questionnaire is what is your favorite word?
Oh, my favorite word. It's in Spanish. It's albahaca. It means basil.
Albahaca. All right.
Albahaca. Then I gotta say albahaca. There's an
Oh, the
accent over the second A.
aka.
Albahaca. Yeah, all of those letters, and it fucking means basil.
All right. Quick, best bagel spot in New York. Did you go to?
Oh, absolutely. It is on 37th and 37th and Mad. It's a small mom and pop shop. Don't know the name of it, but I go there every once in a while. It's pretty solid.
All right.
Solid veggie cream cheese.
Love it. Love it. You know what's wow. Okay, I lost my train of thought. Bagels. It will come back to me, but love mom and pop shops in Vegas. Oh, you know what's a really good? They have them spread out. My favorite muffin is the Mill. You might seen some around.
Yeah, yeah. There's a mill right next to my office.
Yes, best
Yeah,
muffins. I love the muffins there.
very good.
My second question in this questionnaire: what's your least favorite word?
Ooh. Oh man, my least favorite word. Honestly, it's more of a general one. Any word that has an S and a P like next to it, because I have a stutter, so those words sometimes make it quite rough to say. I've gotten better at it, but I used to not be able to say stupendous. I used to say like stupendous, and it just never come out. So I can never say the word stupendous. That's just a bad one for me.
All right. Well, that is not stupendous, but you know what? You're stupendous in general.
Thanks, man.
No problem. So this not question, it's not a sexual question, though people have said sex, answered sex in this, and they do them, but this is more of just a life and fulfillment question. But what turns you on in this world?
Honestly, man, it's just like a community and stuff.
Mhm.
Like when I see a whole group of people just like coming together and stuff. I'm just like, fuck yeah, that's what's up.
That's what I'm talking
That
about.
is what's up, man. It's like this is fucking awesome. Like for example, I saw this one picture of this guy in a wheelchair at a metal concert, and the people were just lifting him up, helping him crowd surf. Like that's fucking awesome.
That really is. That's what life's all about, man. Giving everyone a chance
Hell,
to enjoy it.
hell yeah.
So having said that too, is what turns you off in this world.
Ignorant people.
Amen to
If you're
that.
just if you're just ignorant and you're ignorant and you keep being ignorant because you're ignorant and that people hate when you're ignorant, that makes you ignorant. All right. That makes you freaking ignorant. And I hate that shit.
Damn fucking straight, man. What sound or noise do you love? The clack of the train ticket? When
Oh
they
man.
did have
Oh,
those?
nah, man. They still use those clippers, man.
Yeah.
And when I hear that,
That's when I wake
I
up
feel just
after a nap. Like when I have a little nap. Okay, we gotta go.
you hear it click click. No, one of my
Tickets.
favorite
That's another one
sounds.
too.
Yep. As one guy who goes tickets, and I'm like, all right, bro, don't sound too hostile.
We get
You
it.
clearly love your job. One of my favorite sounds is right. Hold up, I'm gonna try and do it. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Ah, that's a really good one. Don't forget the dun
Yeah, yep.
dun.
I love that stuff, man. It's just like I love the city enough where it's a awesome place to be. Don't get me wrong. I don't ever want to live in Manhattan. That's just way too much for me. Just like be on the fucking just like think I'm like, all right, bro. I'm standing clear. I'm good. I'm good. Straight on the roll.
Love it, man. So, what sound or noise do you hate?
Oh man. Oh, give me a second on this one. I usually get okay. I so like I'm not really good with horror movies,
Mhm.
but when I hear like a very wet stabbing, it's
Oh
like
yeah,
a stabbing sound where like you can just like how is someone full of that much blood in them? Like it
a
sounds like it's like
Tarantino movie. You got that sound
yeah,
like
man.
you
It's just
Kill Bill and stuff.
it's like I'm watching the movie. I'm always like, damn, like that.
That's a really great
That's
answer
gonna,
for this
yeah,
question. It
not
really
not
does
stupid little
sound.
stabbing sounds. It's just it always sounds like you're stabbing like a wet grapefruit or something. Just like
Oh,
weird, weird stuff.
what's your favorite curse word?
See, like I don't want to be basic and say fuck, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
pretty
pretty
popular
sure.
one.
Like my most used curse word is fuck. Absolutely. Um, but like I love to add like variations of it, like fuck face or fuck head or like dipshit, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I always like to make it like more more soothing to the ear, because like when someone just says like you fuck, it's like no, it's like you fucking asshole son of a bitch, like if you're
Yeah.
gonna curse,
Son of a bitch.
if you're gonna if you're gonna curse, you're gonna like you should curse,
Yeah, let it out.
you
You
know.
motherfucker.
You mother you fucking talking to me, like my girl's Italian, so it's like I've been practicing my mafia voice, like you talking to me,
you know what's funny about when it comes to fuck, you seen Wolf of Wall Street.
yeah.
Dude, how about Wolf of Wall Street? The amount of times they say fuck, I think it's literally the most times
Isn't
in
it isn't
movies
it the
you.
most time a movie has used the word fuck in a
Yeah,
movie? Yeah.
exactly. And sometimes it's just like they're genuinely just trying. Like there's a chant where Jonah Hill just says, "All right, guys, say fuck you, fuck you, fuck you."
Hmm.
I mean, that's the only time I felt like, okay, like you guys could definitely not use. I mean, I get it. The investment banking business is pretty savage, but they can't be using it that much. Or maybe I'm completely wrong. I'd have to interview one and see if it's like that. But
No, I don't
that's
know.
that favorite
Just
movie.
Wolf of Wall Street's a great movie.
Yeah,
A fucking great movie.
that's exactly what they would
You
say.
know.
I don't know if you ever seen Screen Junkies Honest Trailers, but that was the joke when they would say it. Leonardo fucking
I love
Caprio.
honest trailers, dude.
Oh
Great.
no way! Shouts to Screen Junkies,
Oh man, that guy's voiceover is just,
epic voice guy.
oh my god, so good.
It generally is great how they stay relevant with every single new movie,
Hmm.
and it's always funny. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't get dull. I mean, sometimes you question the movie choices, but besides that, it's that's my favorite channel. I can never
Like my
get bored of
favorite
that.
video that he did was when he did the DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet,
Yeah.
and like he did the whole thing like in rhyme, and I just thought that was like little like a great touch.
My favorite one was when they had Deadpool come on, the real Deadpool.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then,
And Ryan Reynolds took over the narration.
yeah, he just roast them. You guys definitely peaked at Frozen.
Yep. And then when he does like the funny names
Oh
part,
yeah.
and Deadpool's like, ooh, can I try some?
My favorite when they made fun of the Fast and Furious, and then they do the car puns, and it's like uh, car puns like Rocker Walker or something, or Lightning McQueen, and they say Vin Diesel. Yeah, that's his actual name. Classic, man.
Oh
Classic.
man, good stuff.
So, what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I've always wanted to be like a rock star, like
Hey,
just low
never too
key.
late.
Always wanted to just slap that bass in the professional setting. I've always wanted to get good. Like I've practiced and stuff. I was just never like the opportunity like never like arose where like I wanted to be in a band or something. And I'm
Mhm.
just like, I'm just gonna get a more realistic career like
Get some
as an
money
engineer
first.
or something. Get some
Yeah,
money first. But hey, it's plenty of rock stars that get their start in old age. The
exactly,
guitar
man.
the guitar player for the Offspring, he was a janitor.
Really, I didn't know that. What his
Yeah,
name's Noodles, right?
yeah. He was a janitor at like at a high school or something, and then took him off to play guitar, and he was like significantly older than the other guys.
Yeah. Eddie Vedder was a security guard at a power plant before Pearl Jam.
Oh, damn, yeah, man. Like anyone can get their go at it.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
You got my
Han
support,
Solo,
man.
yeah, man. Han Solo was a carpenter at age
Yep.
34.
That's right. The Harrison Ford. And think about that. That's, that's a long time until he turned 34.
Yeah,
That's when he started.
yeah.
He's a living legend. So
And
get it.
at that point, like imagine all the movies that he did afterwards.
Right?
At such a late age. Like you watch Indiana Jones and you're thinking that he's been acting his entire life. But
One of the coolest openings is when he comes out of the light. It's Indiana Jones. Yeah, buddy.
yep.
That's another
Hey.
movie coming back. They're rebooting. Apparently, they're doing a fifth one for some reason. And
Wow. And
right,
Harrison Ford okayed that?
yeah,
Dude, if you watch the last Star Wars movie, the Rise of Skywalker,
yep. Saw
whatever
that
the
in the
hell,
theater.
you know, when Harrison Ford had that 2 minute cameo in that movie, he looked like he just walked on set and just said, "All right, that it's over with."
Yeah, give me my money.
Like his hair is all messy. He's just like, I don't want to be here right now. Like, why did you? Who thought to bring me back? Like literally those 2 minutes that he was on screen, it was like, I'm just doing this for a couple bucks, and then when I get the hell out of here.
I have to say, according to this, he is 78. He turned 79 in July. Imagine
Wow,
80-year-old Harrison Ford. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. They are. It says out of February 2020, they're expecting to do a fifth Indiana Jones. So
that's
we'll
we're gonna
see.
make poor 80-year-old Harrison Ford, do do an Indiana Jones movie like the last one that came out. It was what like 15 years ago or something
Yeah,
like that. Like
2008, they did the fourth one.
yeah, we were freaking kids. That was 13 years ago. Like he was like in his like mid 60s at that point.
Yeah.
At that point, you would think, all right,
Yo, you there, Ollie? So, little technical difficulties, but we're back. And thank God, because they would not want to lose all that footage. But anyways, yeah, Harrison Ford is 80 years old, coming back, and well,
he's still doing his thing.
I mean, what a world we live in to make that possible.
Like I'm pretty sure he just wants to retire, man. This guy is, and he's probably kicked himself in the butt for being too iconic because now he's still doing stuff at 80 years old.
Yeah. Well, that's why we appreciate Harrison Ford. um, what profession would you not like to do?
Ooh, what profession would I not like to do? Honestly, accounting.
Mm-hmm.
Not my thing, man. And granted, like I'm a numbers, like math guy, but that's just like numbers straight down. That's all you
Yeah.
do from morning to night. Between like December and May, you don't have a life.
Yeah, especially when they have the tax seasons and the
Like you
fit
don't
end of the
have a
fiscal
life.
years. Like I dated someone whose roommate was accountant, and she had the weirdest hours, man. In that seat in the tax season, man. It's
Yeah, man.
unbelievable.
They're working like crazy, like dogs, man. Granted, like some CPAs make a good chunk of change, but like I couldn't see myself doing accounting, man. That's like intense.
Yeah,
At that point,
I definitely hear
couldn't.
you on that.
And like I watched this show, Who Killed Sarah.
Mhm.
It's brand new on Netflix, and it had this line. I'm gonna paraphrase here because it's in Spanish, so I'm just gonna paraphrase it. But he said, someone who's equally as dark as the villain is the villain's accountant, essentially.
That's a
You know,
good
the,
one. That's
the
deep. I like
guy,
that.
because the freaking accountant, man, he knows everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
If you're like a multi-billionaire bad guy, like for example, like Pablo Escobar, imagine how corrupt Pablo Escobar's accountant was.
Yeah, right?
Because this guy
They
knows
really
everything
know.
that, like he knows what Pablo did with that $5,000 he used to kill somebody, probably. Like he
The
knows about it.
business manager. It's not like the business manager at Entourage where that guy just yelled.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like you have like your small little business accountant, and then you have, like Escobar's accountant. And like at
Right.
that point, it's just you went from, like a 9 to 5 job to being corrupt.
Money really talks, man. Money really
Yeah.
talks.
And then they always kill the accountants when people start getting onto them. They always kill the accountants first
Got you. And
because they'll rat on you. They have no loyalty. They're just your accountant. They have
yeah.
zero loyalty to you. But that guy will kill off his accountant in a second
Yeah,
because he knows too much.
you hear stories of accountants getting shady too behind closed doors. You get the most personal information.
Yeah.
And I mean, damn.
Oh
Man.
yeah.
So my
Yeah,
last
man.
question today, Ali, till next time. If heaven exists, what would you like God to hear say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Ooh, if heaven exists, what would God say to me? I hope when I get up there, he says, "What up, G?" And that would be awesome. And I'll be like, "All right, cool, I made it." And
Amen, man.
speaking of God, amen. Ramadan starts in like 6 days, so to
Yeah, I
tell my
saw
Muslims,
that.
all my Muslims out there, get ready. The Hunger Games begin.
Yeah, I really respect that. And with the great cause and I'm sure does as you get older, has it gotten easier to do? Does it seem like the month gets faster as you get
It
older?
does. It does get easier relatively. It didn't help that the past like 10 years, Ramadan has been between, so it goes back 11 days every year.
Yeah.
It's been between September and up till now, like May. And when I was in school, luckily, remember Ahmad,
Yep.
from college. So luckily,
Good guy.
like all the, those 4 years, great guy. Those 4 years in college, Ramadan was in the summer every time. And
Yeah, huh?
the week after we graduated, or the year after we graduated, Ramadan would have started during senior week. Nah,
Ooh.
that would have been a bad time. Luckily, the year we graduated, Ramadan started a week after we graduated. So that's why I'm home. I'm grad nonce. I'm not in Hartford anymore. Oh man, that was close. That was a close one.
that would have been something to keep up with. But
Yeah, that
hey,
would put a little damper on senior week that year.
gotta win a lot of money at when that Mohegan night, cause
Mhm.
so to strive
Mhm.
for. But Ali, you're the man. This was great, man. A 2-hour classic one. Again, I can't wait to do this again. And trust me,
Absolutely.
once I start working again, I'm hitting you up and we could get a happy hour and catch up even more in person. But do you have any other last words to say, Ali, before we go?
I just want to say thank you for having me, Matt. This show is awesome. What you're doing here is very cool, and I look forward to future shows with you. Look forward to listening to more of your podcasts, and seeing all the guests you have on, and just keep grinding, man. Keep it up, day by day.
Definitely, man. It's really easy. I'll tell you. It's a lot of work, but it's easy and so enjoyable when I have guests like you, man. And I really
Thank
appreciate.
you.
Like I said, I appreciate you a lot, and this is great. Happy Ramadan again. Congratulations to your engagement. When you go to Florida, be safe out there, have some fun, and shouts to Laura too for what she's done in the health and all her colleagues in the healthcare field. This is really great. Again, just man, like I said before this show, great vibes all the time with the great Ali Youssef. And I can't wait to do this again. You have a great night, my friend, and stay awesome. Can't wait to talk again.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Have a great night, Ali.
You too, man.
Peace.